I know that you might not know a lot about the topic of composting, so I picked out this informational book to help us get a little bit of background information on what we'll be reading on the article. And hopefully after reading, you'll have a little bit of more knowledge and be able to understand our article a little bit better. The book that I chose, it's an informational book. It's called From Garbage to Compost, and it's by Lisa Owings. Compost helps my garden. How is it made? So I wonder how compost helps our garden. First, notice those transitional words. First, gardeners find a place for the compost. A good place for a compost bin is on bare soil, where it will get partial sun. It should be somewhere convenient to add to and care for. Gardeners can make or buy compost bins. So first is a place. Gotta find a place for the compost bin, something convenient. That's what a compost looks like in real life. Next, they sort their garbage. So yes, we're going to be dealing with garbage and we're going to have to be sorting it out because we can't use everything on the compost bin. Not all garbage can be composted. Gardeners save most kitchen scraps and some paper products for composting. But items like leftover meat and dairy or plastics and chemicals can be composted. So some of the things we can't keep in our compost, like leftover meat and dairy or plastics and chemicals, not going to be able to use that. So that's why we're going to have to sort our garbage, take those items out. Here's a photo where she's keeping an apple core. Then they add garden waste. Gardeners collect their grass clippings, plant trimmings, and fallen leaves. They try not to include weed seeds or plants with diseases. Both of these can spread to the garden when the compost is used. So instead of throwing away trash whenever your parents cut the grass or they clip leaves from their garden, we can save that and we can put that in our compost. Okay, so she's putting some of the garden clippings in the compost. Gardeners use layers of waste and soil. Layers of kitchen and garden waste are added until the compost bin is full. It is important to add soil too. The microorganisms in the soil help break down the compost. So we're going to be using some worms to help break down or decompose the food and the scraps and everything that's going to be going into our composting bin. So you see, even kids can help out. Next, the pile is watered. The compost pile needs to be kept moist, but not sopping wet. The microorganisms need just enough water to survive. So we will have to be keeping it moist, keeping it wet, putting some water in, but not too much water. The sun heats the compost. The sun speeds up the composting process. Many of the microorganisms that break down compost need high temperatures to perform their best. Heat also helps kill any harmful pests, diseases, and bacteria. So while it sits there, the sun is heating it up, and that's good for the compost. Gardeners stir their compost. Gardeners turn their compost regularly. This helps move oxygen through the pile. So we're going to have to stir it. That way oxygen can go in through the pile. Most decomposers need oxygen to breathe and do their work just as we do. So those worms, those decomposers, they need oxygen. So that's why we have to stir it. There they are stirring the pile, the pitchfork. They wait for the compost to decompose. Once it has all the basic ingredients, compost needs time to decompose. Gardeners can help it along by stirring it often and making sure it has the right amounts of water and heat. So we have to wait, we have to stir, we have to give it water and allow the heat. You see the decomposers? And finally, the compost is ready to use. After several months, the compost doesn't look like garbage at all. It looks like rich, dark soil. The finished compost is full of nutrients. Composting is an easy way to keep our planet green and clean. So all of that waste that we would have thrown away, that we would have put in our garbage, it becomes rich soil, full of nutrients. See? All that soil was from your compost. And then you can use that soil in our gardens. And that food is full of nutrients.